Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to season three, episode three, New York Giants football talk. Kenny K here, alongside my fellow friend and co-host Paul Rosen. And before I get to Paul, I do have to go off script for a second. I got to have the pleasure of going up to visit Paul and his lovely wife Luby this past weekend to watch Paul compete in Brigantine Triathlon, and applauds to you, Paul, for not only entering it but finishing it, and I what a inspiration to everyone. But so thank you, Paul, and it was amazing for being there for you.
Well, thank you so much, Kenny K. I was about to say, long time no see, but thank you so much. I sincerely mean when I say I could not have done it without you. Of course, my amazing, lovely wife, Luby. You guys were there to inspire me and gave me the confidence to continue. Because it was a little tough in the beginning, and I won't get into details, but I really, really appreciate the support and the friendship and the brotherhood. So I really thank you. It meant the world to me to have you there over the weekend. So it was a pleasure, and I thank you once again.
You're welcome. The pleasure was all mine, and it was an honor being there. So again, thank you from everybody. Yeah, no, not just me. Thank you for everybody for doing what you do and amazing at it. Uh, Speaking of amazing, we got a Giants show tonight, and there's a lot of things that to be excited about this training camp leading into preseason, and we got some storylines to start off. We got some
Mhm.
good, mostly good things to talk about tonight. So why don't we get into it, Paul, and start with some storylines from this evening so far this
All
training
right,
camp.
that sounds great. So my first storyline, I want to start where it usually begins with the quarterback, and of course, our New York Football Giants have a new quarterback. Well, new for the Giants, not so new in the NFL, but we are. Uh, Russell Wilson has come in and based on everything that I've read, heard, seen, he has been unbelievable. He has just adopted the leadership role that I think the Giants organization really needed from that quarterback position, and he has raised the level of play all around. You hear it; it's just different. Players who have been there the last couple of years, they just say it's a whole different feeling in the air with Russell Wilson now a quarterback. Veteran, knows what he's doing. Hey, he's not the Russell Wilson of 2014 when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, but you know what? I'll take a veteran leadership role that he will provide the Giants. And I think he's not just throwing me moon balls, his famous new moon balls to uh, Darius Slayton and Malik and even Jalen Hyatt, but everybody's getting involved. Theo Johnson, Tyrone Tracy is going deep. The rookies have been catching balls from him, and we'll talk about some of the rookie wide receivers shortly. But that's my first storyline of the training camp so far.
Yeah, not to, I don't want to just echo all your words, but it just seems to be excitement there, leadership for the rookie quarterback. I think it's great. Jackson Dart's learning from a couple people. Jameis Winston's the other veteran quarterback, and even Tommy DeVito, he knows the offense, so it's a nice room there. My storyline I want to hit is Abdul Carter. I'm going to go to the other side of the ball and go to a rookie, and all the hype is real about this kid. And we all know, arguably, there may be some New York Giants haters out there. We had the best defensive guy play for us in the history of the NFL in Lawrence Taylor. Not comparing him to Lawrence Taylor, but I haven't been excited about a New York Giants defensive player as I've been with Abdul Carter to see what he can do on the field since Lawrence Taylor. So that's a big storyline for me. I'm seeing nothing but good things at practice from him, and he's got a nice room uh, to succeed with Dexter Lawrence
Hmm.
leading the way, and Burns, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeau, and some veterans behind them, Golston, and a lot of veterans to learn from. And I think it's only going to help Abdul Carter. So that's the big storyline for me is how good Abdul Carter has been. And I've never been more excited about a player since Lawrence
If I,
Taylor.
if I,
So can't
yeah,
wait to see him. And I give the credit because I wanted Travis Hunter at the draft and you wanted Abdul Carter. So I give you all the credit in the world
thank
for
you.
nailing
If
that
I
one.
can,
Yeah, please say what you got to say. Then I'm going to say
okay,
hello to
if
some
I can
audience
just
members.
piggyback the words. Um, if there's any player or any former player that would know best about a guy like Abdul Carter, would be a guy that played with the Giants in the Giants Ring of Honor, one of the great players in his own right, Carl Banks. I read something just today about Carl Banks commenting about Abdul Carter, and he's not comparing in any way, shape, or form. As he said, you don't compare anybody to the greatest player in NFL history, defensively at least. But Abdul Carter, in Carl Banks's opinion, has that it factor, that thing that you just look at what he can do on the field. And of course, it's still training camp and they're playing against each other. But Lawrence Taylor had that, according to Carl Banks. That's good enough for me. If Carl Banks can see that in an Abdul Carter, and once again, he reinforced, I am not comparing Abdul Carter 2 weeks into training camp with Lawrence Taylor, but it's exciting. It's really exciting. Uh, another,
It is.
yeah, go
Let me
ahead.
get some hellos in. Let's get some hellos in. We got Clayton, our good friend Clayton,
Hey,
saying, "Hey
Clayton.
guys, smash the like button and share." Just joking around with Clayton on the other show I'm on, Denver Bronco Roundup, and I think we got to use it for all our shows. Clayton as our voiceover, and Clayton comes in instead of me reading, "Hey guys, smash the like button." We're gonna have Clayton on a recorded voice because it does help the streams out. So as Clayton is saying, smash the like button and share, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube. Doesn't cost anything. Just hit the like button. Helps us out. If you enjoy what we're doing, we'd really appreciate it. Roy Osborne, our good
Hey,
friend Roy,
Roy.
saying hello, Paul and Kenny. Figured I would say hi to both and have fun talking Giants
Thank you,
football.
Roy.
Thank you, Roy. Appreciate you coming in. Hope you're doing well out there. Uh, you know, uh, Football season's come on. I know you're not a Giants fan, so Clayton, we appreciate you guys coming
Absolutely.
on. It doesn't matter what team it is; it's exciting that football's back. So good to see you both. And there's good friend
Hey,
Mark
Mark.
Calderio, and Mark was at training camp. And Mark, I'm going to text you later on. I got an idea maybe for coming up, and I got an idea, so I'll run it by you later, Mark, and see if you can do it. Kurt's
Hey,
saying
Kurt.
hello, and he's got a question. What's up, Kurt? Do you guys think Carter can be Von Miller type?
You want to go first or you want me to?
Yes, Kurt. Yeah, I do. I'm watching him highlights at training camp. Kurt, the kid is explosive. He's not a one move guy. He can spin. He can power. He can do it all from different positions as well on the line. Kurt, I do think he's going to be special, and I think as long as the Giants stick with the strength and don't trade anybody away. I think Abdul Carter can be very special in his rookie year. And our other good friend, Mark Carson
Hey,
Claus,
Carson. How
Carson's
are
coming
you?
in saying
Hope
our
all is
co-host,
well.
uh, what's up, Carson? Guys, do me a favor out there. Go like and subscribe to the Carson Shear Show. He does sports shorts on the world of sports. A lot of Detroit sports, but also Major League Baseball and any breaking news. You can catch him on YouTube. Does amazing shorts on there. Go check him out. And Mark was saying I agree. Okay, and Roy agrees
Yeah.
about football.
Uh,
So let's get your next
let me just
storyline,
one
Paul.
more thing about Kurt's question. Listen, Von Miller's going to be a Hall of Famer, obviously, like LT. What I will say about Carter, Carter can be used on the edge. He also can be used in the middle. More Von Miller was more of a edge rusher compared to Von Miller. But I think, listen, if this kid lives up to the expectations, he's going to be some player in the league. And fortunately, we have him. So
Yeah.
my other storyline, well, my next storyline, I should say, Malik Neighbors. We know how great he was last year, but he got a little dinged up, came right back a day or two later. This kid has been putting on a show even more so than even last year. And I think Russell Wilson, excuse me, has taken him under his wing. And I think this connection is going to be incredible. And it's going to raise Malik Neighbors' abilities even more, if that's possible. And I think by the end of the year, you're going to talk about the JJs and you're going to talk about Jamar Chases, and Malik Neighbors is going to be in that top of the next tier of wide receivers, the way it seems like he's playing in training camp so far.
Yeah, that's a great one. Malik has looked good, and I think with Russ, I think it was Kay Adams on Up and Adams said that she thinks Russell Wilson's with Malik Neighbors is going to break the reception
Wow.
record this year.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how much when media's starting to say that, and well-known media, national TV hosts start saying that, it gives me goosebumps because I am excited about this team. You know, again, not saying Super Bowl, not saying even playoffs, but competitive. It would be an
Yeah.
accomplishment with the schedule
Yep.
that we have. So I'm looking forward to that. I got another storyline, and it's our good friend. I say that sarcastically. Evan Neal. Evan Neal has switched to the interior, the guard that we've all been wanting as Giants fans to hopefully save his career and resurrect him to, you know, three-quarters of what he was at Alabama at tackle. And so far, so good. So far, so good. Now, I heard, and I didn't expect anything less. The official depth chart for is he's going to be right guard number 2 right now.
Right.
But John Runyon, Rand Voten, I bet you got a short leash. If Evan Neal outperforms you in preseason and you struggle, you might see a switching of the guard, no
Right.
pun intended, and Evan Neal jump into that role. And we've seen it in the past. You might not be good at one position, but you turn out to be one heck of a player at
Yeah.
another position. So I've seen it all in all sports, and maybe Evan Neal might be better off at the NFL level at guard and be a heck of a guard because he's a
Yeah.
good run blocker. So, and you know, having him block for our future running backs, you know, could be something to look forward to in the future. So here's my storyline number 2. Mark saying he does look good at guard, and he is alluding to Scadaboo. Hurt his hamstring. They signed the running back
Yeah.
from the
We'll talk
Steelers.
about that
And we're
shortly.
going to get into some
Yeah.
injuries in a minute. Yeah.
Just to
So,
piggyback on Evan Neal, um, I saw an interview with Brian Baldinger, who I respect very much, especially as an offensive lineman who played in the NFL. And he was at the Giants camp, saw Evan Neal play, and was raving about how fast he looked inside and much more comfortable playing at guard. And maybe they should have done this a lot sooner, but hey, let's hope they can resurrect his career and ultimately wind up getting the player that they thought he was, maybe not a tackle, but moving him inside to guard.
yeah. Do you have
My
another
last storyline
storyline you
is
want to throw
this.
out there?
Everybody's talking about the Giants defense, how great it's going to be. We hope it's going to be that. But you know what? As Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns have said, listen, everyone's talking about the defense. Let's go out and show them. Talk is cheap, as Tom Coughlin used to say. Play the game. So I just hope they're not reading their accolades. They're not reading, I won't even say newspapers. Nobody reads newspapers anymore. But go out and perform. Do what you have to do. Raise that level that we know is Giant defense and prove that, yeah, they are one of the best defenses in the league again, and hopefully that'll help win some games this year.
Yep. Well said, Paul. Uh, Speaking of storylines, so those are, well, they're good. We do have a couple of bad, and I think you got some injury news and updates for us. So I'll pass it right back to you,
Thank
Paul,
you.
for that.
Yeah, so every team, even in preseason training camp, they go through injuries. One of the key special teams players, unfortunately, is out already for the season. Bryce Wheaton Ford uh, uh, separated his Achilles, so he's out for the rest of the season, unfortunately. And this is a kid who a year ago also was injured, so it's been tough go for him. Um, Cam Scatterboo, as Mark alluded to, has some type of hamstring injury, leg injury. They were they thought he was bouncing back, but it seemed like he had a setback. Probably won't play, I would imagine, on Saturday in the Bill game, but hopefully he'll be able to bounce back sooner than later. We all know hamstrings can be so difficult to fight back, but the way he's been playing in training camp and people have been raving about him, hopefully he can bounce back a lot sooner than later. The rookie tight end Thomas Fidone has a concussion, and he was having an excellent camp. And we'll get into the rookies shortly, but apparently he's had a concussion and he's been out. And some other players have been banged up. Darius Slayton, Bo Collins, the rookie undrafted free agent out of Notre Dame, has been banged up a little bit. Kenny's favorite defensive back, Cordell Slott, has also been banged up a little. He's injured. And a rookie cornerback that they like, 7th-round pick Corey Black, has also been injured. So, every team is going through the same thing, I'm sure, as the Giants. Nothing new. And hopefully in 3 weeks and 4 weeks when the regular season starts, all these guys will be back at full go.
Yeah, I agree. And, hopefully, we don't have any major injuries, but you're going to be banged up. It's part of the game. I wish the NFL to this day, I say it every year, heading into preseason, you don't see a lot of the quarterbacks play. And that's because teams are afraid of their quarterbacks getting hurt. Now, I know there's non-contact injuries, but why not put the red jersey on these quarterbacks during preseason and not let these guys hit them from the blind side and risk your season in preseason game one? You wear the red jerseys at training camp and joint practices. Why not preseason? The game doesn't mean anything, but they haven't done that yet. And more and more, you're not seeing your starters play at all in the preseason like we're used to 20 years ago, seeing guys play whole halves, in preseason. And the only game you didn't play was the last one. But there's guys sitting out the whole preseason because teams are afraid that aren't deep, especially at quarterback. They're not playing, and that's why you see these slow starts. But let's hope we can get into week one and throughout the preseason without any other major injuries besides Ford Wheaton. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we get through these games. So, but injuries are part of the game. Like you said. So other than that, so far so good.
I'll just add, Kenny. I saw an interview with Brian Dable today. He has not made a decision as to who is starting a quarterback or the starters at all for this first game against the Bills. So it'll be interesting to see in another day or two who he designates as the starting quarterback for the first game.
See, normally I would go two ways on that. I would say let your starter get one or two series. But it's Russell Wilson. The guy's been in the league 10 years. He's practicing every day. They're going to have joint practices with other teams. Let Jackson Dart start and just run through the preseason as the starter, play the whole half. And then you want to bring Jameis Winston in the second half, do that, Jameis Winston. Let Jackson Dart get to play versus some good talent on the other
Hmm.
side of the ball and play along good talent on your side of the
Yeah.
ball as well. And players that are going to make the 53-man roster. That's the only way this kid's going to get experience. And I think Dable might go that route. I
Yeah,
hope he would.
I tend
Uh,
to agree. Throw him out there. Let's see what he can do. It's the first game. There's no high expectations at this point to have him do anything crazy and wild. They're not going to show a lot. The offense is probably going to be mostly vanilla, but the bottom line is he'll get some experience. He'll get some snaps. It'll be probably against most of the Bills' starting defensive unit, and let's see how he plays. Let's see how he reacts.
yeah. Yep. A couple comments. Mark saying free agent wide receiver Washington's been looking good catching everything.
Yeah,
And
we'll
it's fun
talk
to
about
watch.
that.
And we'll get
Thank
to
you,
the battles.
Mark.
Yep. And then Roy saying, I think we should get rid of preseason and more joint practices with a scrimmage format
Hmm.
with each team. And I like that, Roy, because everybody's close to another team. Like could scrimmage the Jets like a whole week of scrimmage versus the Jets. Because we share the same stadium and we're right there, with each other. Play on their practice field, play on our practice field. Have a week's long scrimmage with them, and vice versa. Other teams in Florida, teams in Texas,
Hmm.
play your neighbors. As long as you're not playing them in the regular season, you know, or you're in their same division, like Cincinnati and Cleveland, you know, find another team. But yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that idea. He's going to be at the Denver Giants game. Roy is. You'll have to give us an update on two channels,
nice.
Roy. New York Giants football talk and Denver Bronco roundup. You're going to have
Double
to give us
duty.
a little of both. I'm gonna send you a shirt that's gonna be half blue, half orange. So you're gonna be there for both. You're gonna be reporting for both. Gonna give you a job. No, I'm kidding, Roy. I know you're a Bronco fan, and that'll be fun. Be fun to be there at that game. All right, Paul. You want to go to our next little segment? We're gonna do some camp battles that are
Yeah,
still going on.
let's do that. Give me a second while I grab my list. Uh,
Roy saying triple duty. Ha
all
ha
right.
ha.
Um, my first camp battle, I'll go in defense, and I'll go in the interior, and of course, Dexter Lawrence is that our big interior defensive tackle. In my opinion, the best tackle in the league, interior tackle in the league. But we're still looking for that partner to team with him to go in there. And right now, Raheem Nunez Roaches is the starting tackle, but a lot of competition behind him. We had a kid last year, undrafted free agent, made the team, Elijah Chapman, who actually they were also considering using him as a fullback at points during the game. And guy they signed, a veteran, Roy Robertson Harris, that could conceivably uh, work into the tandem with Dexter. But the guy that they're hoping, Darius Alexander, the rookie third round pick, has been off to a little slow start, but he is in the mix. And I think ultimately, once he gets his feet under him, I think he's really going to rise, and he'll be the guy that's going to be the person that's going to play alongside Dexter. But the way the Giant defense is, I'm sure they're going to be rotating. But that's one battle that we'll look forward to into the rest of the training camp and into the preseason games.
I like it. I like it. It's gonna be one to keep an eye out for. I got one that I'm keeping an eye out for, and that's the
Hmm.
tight end battle behind Theo Johnson is going to be our starter, and then Chris Manhertz is going to be our blocking tight end. After that, you got three guys fighting for that backup spot behind Theo Johnson, and that's Thomas Fadone, who you mentioned with the concussion. So he's probably behind a little bit right now. You got Daniel Bellinger, who's the incumbent backup, and then you got a guy we brought in last year with our injuries, we brought him in off waivers, and Bronco fans are going to know this name that are out there, Roy and Clayton, uh, and that's Greg Dulcich. And I'm expecting this to be a battle that is going to go on through preseason. Daniel Bellinger, Greg Dulcich, and Thomas Fedone on who's going to back up Theo Johnson, because I think they all bring a little bit of something different to the table. You know, if you want the guy who's safest with not a high ceiling, but and not a low floor, I would say that's Bellinger. If you want a guy that can maybe be the guy who's a home run, maybe surprise you on a couple plays, that's Greg Dulcich. And then you got the rookie seventh round pick who you can slowly bring in, but if he surprises people, and for those who don't know that name, Nebraska tight end was higher ranked than Brock Bowers heading into college. In high school, he was the highest ranked tight end with a couple of Achilles injuries,
I think
ACL
it
or
would,
Achilles
yeah,
injuries. Correct
ACL,
me if I'm
the
wrong.
injuries.
ACL injuries slow you down. He gets drafted in the seventh round. You take a chance on him. So I want to see this
Oh, looks like Kenny froze up a little. So I'll
battle going
continue.
into
Oh, there we
preseason.
go. The
My
battle, the
back.
tight end battle among the rookie. You froze up a little, Kenny.
Oh yeah, I was just saying.
Uh,
I'm looking forward for the preseason, and throughout preseason, I'm going to keep a close eye on the tight ends.
okay. Let's go back on defense. And of course, the Giants brought in Paulson Adebo to lock down that number one cornerback position. So at the other cornerback, there's been a battle all training camp between Deonte Banks and Cordell Flott. They're splitting the reps 50-50 the way it's going apparently right now. And I think every Giant fan would like to see Tay Banks take that step. He had a very good rookie year. Last year, he fell off. He fell out of favor with a lot of the Giants coaching. He was pulled a couple of times, lack of hustle. So he's in a fight not just for a job, but maybe his career, the way he's been playing. And Flott, he's a little banged up right now, but he's a battler, and he's giving Banks every run for his money for that starting outside position. The other two players that also could play in the mix, depending on what happens, Trey Hawkins, seventh round pick a couple years ago, and a free agent, Artie Green, that they picked up that they like a lot. So uh, Banks doesn't have that second position, that second cornerback, cornerback position locked down by any means. And listen, in this league, competition is fantastic, and the Giants are going to go with the best player that they possibly can to play back there. I think in their minds they'd like to have Banks, but if there's anybody else that's going to beat him out, then so be it. They're going to go with that player who does beat him out.
Yeah, that's I'm a Tay Banks guy, and he's got to step up because I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. He's got to earn that position. And, if somebody outplays him, well, who I wish would get healthy was Corey Black. I was excited to see if he can be a sleeper in
Mm-hmm.
the training camp and preseason. He needs to get healthy. He played against in the Big 12, and Big 12 is a passing league. They put up a lot of points, so he's seen a lot of offenses. So I was excited for Corey Black to see if he can bring anything to the table and maybe be that Trey Hawkins type of player that we got a couple years ago. Maybe that would have been in Corey Black, but he's got to get on the field. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest Cordell Flott fan, but if he, according to Giants coaches, beats out Deonte Banks, I'm gonna support Flott 100% and root for him on Sundays. And if Tay Banks never gets that starting job again, oh well. It's not play your favorites, and step up, start being the first round pick the Giants chose you to be, Tay Banks, and step up. Let's go. Win that job back. So I got another one on offense, Paul, and that's
Sure.
it's our backup with Andrew Thomas banged up. I'm curious to see Hudson, and I want to
Mm-hmm.
see Marcus Bowe how he does in preseason. our fifth round pick, and we all know last year our fifth round pick was also from Purdue. It was Tyrone Tracy. So you get two fifth round picks back to back years from Purdue, and Tyrone Tracy surprised. Maybe Marcus Bowe surprises a little bit, and maybe can overtake that backup tackle spot. I know he's
Yeah.
listed as right tackle number 2 right now, and we know he's not going to take Illuminor's spot, but maybe he can switch over to left, get some practice over there, and maybe battle Hudson for the backup on
Hmm.
that side as well.
Yeah. Yeah, James Hudson III is a feisty guy. They signed him as a free agent, and he has a little fight in him. So right now he's starting actually on the offensive line in place of Andrew Thomas while he's still on the PUP list. Hopefully he'll get back sooner than later. Let's face it, excuse me, Giants need him as a lockdown left tackle, especially with having Russell Wilson not being as mobile as he used to be. So, but Hudson is having an outstanding camp according to a lot of people, and so we'll see.
Yeah.
I
Let me
agree.
tell you a really quick story about James Hudson. He played at Cincinnati the year that they went to the playoff and had to face Georgia. And we all know the outcome of that game. Georgia crushed Cincinnati. But the story of that game was James Hudson was the left tackle for Cincinnati. And there was a player opposite lined up against him the whole game that he would that not the whole game because James Hudson ended up getting hurt in the first half of that game. After James Hudson came out, this Georgia edge rusher was destroying the backup left tackle for Cincinnati. It was Azeez Ojulari. And I wanted Azeez Ojulari. When I saw that guy, I was like, we need this guy on the Giants. We got him. Of course, we know he's with the Eagles now. And we had some injuries. But James Hudson actually stopped Azeez Ojulari. Go back and watch that uh, Sugar Bowl, I think it was, or whatever bowl game it was in the playoffs. James Hudson was in for the first, maybe little bit of the second quarter and then got hurt. Their backup got destroyed. Ojulari had like 5 pressures and maybe 4 sacks that game. It was crazy. But James Hudson completely locked him down. So let's hope James Hudson steps in when needed. Like you said, the feistiness. I'm okay with the feistiness because
Yeah,
you're protecting your guys. You're protecting your guys on offense. So I actually don't mind that.
not at all. Not at all. I love it. I love it. Offensive linemen need to be feisty, need to be
Yeah.
aggressive, not in a way that's going to get a penalty, but hey, have everyone's back. We need to
Yeah.
have those guys up front.
Do you have any more battles you want to talk about?
At this point, no.
Maybe running back, see what happens with Scatterboo. Right now he's listed as 3. We all know he's eventually going to be at least number 2. Maybe Scatterboo Tracy as the season progresses would be one to
Hmm.
watch and see what develops there. It's nice to have that 1-2 punch like we had in the past, Jacobs Bradshaw type of
Right.
comes to mind, and it'd be nice to have that type. But yeah, I think we nailed the battles. The back end of the wide receivers, maybe we have Mark mentioned wide receiver Washington looking good, catching everything. Bo Collins from Notre Dame, like to see him in preseason, see what he can do. He's banged up a little bit, but he's had a heck of a preseason, undrafted free agent. And there's the other guy, Colombe. So we got some players that we need going to be fun to watch at preseason. And when you do podcasts like this, it actually makes the games fun because you're looking for players and something to talk
Yeah.
about at least. So in a meaningless game, it gives us something to do, and we will update everybody on what we see
Hmm.
during the preseason. So, all right, Paul, what do you want to take next? We got a couple more things here. I think we're going to talk about.
We've talked a little bit about the rookies here and there. Um, we certainly talked about Abdul Carter. We talked about Scatterboo. Um, Want to talk a little bit about Jackson Dart?
Yeah, rookie review. Yeah, we can talk about him. I'll pass it to you. It's your guy.
Okay,
You get the first crack at it.
thanks. Listen, any rookie coming in, there's always going to be a slow development. He's had some good days, he's had some not so good days, but what they like about him is his attitude. They like about he's constantly studying. He wants to get better every single day. He's looking for that process, that football process, that fast NFL process to slow down so he has a better grasp of the situation during practice time and game time. And I think so far that's slowly starting to happen with Jackson Dart. Um, it's interesting. I saw an interview, and I don't remember who it was, and Jackson Dart was going to be interviewed. And sometimes these kids come in, they're all about themselves, and he apparently went in, introduced himself to the director of the bit, the producer, the cameraman, introduced himself. Hi, I'm Jackson Dart, and all this stuff. He went around, introduced himself to everybody. That's a very good sign, as far as I'm concerned, that he understands, it's not all about him. It's about everybody who's involved with team. And I think I really find that the Giants may have hit the jackpot with this kid, that he gets it and he understands about how the game of football is. And it's refreshing to hear that he has such an open personality, that he's really able to be in a situation where nothing's going to make him afraid. And we've had this discussion so many times, Kenny, on our shows, that playing in New York, there's no other place that's any harder, whether it's a basketball team, football, baseball, whatever. No matter where you're playing or who you're playing for in New York, it's 1,000 times harder than playing in Kansas City or Toronto or some other place like that. So I love the way Jackson Dart has interacted, and I think having Russell Wilson, like you mentioned earlier, and Jameis Winston as role models, it's even helping him even more.
Yeah, well said. Let me just get a couple comments in. Mark, back to the running backs, was saying thunder, lightning, and earthquake, three-headed monster. Love it, Mark.
In New Jersey.
Roy looks for flashes in the rookie room and little consistency. Well said there, Roy. Couple
Yes.
hellos coming in. Graham, our producer on K&K. Hi, guys. Hope you are well. Graham
Hey,
got to go
Graham.
to training camp, and I saw some pictures of him and Keith and some pictures, some autographs he got from some players. He got to go to Broncos training camp, so I know you had a good time there. And Graham, looking forward to, we're going to be getting K&K back shortly after our little summer break. We'll be back in a week or two, so everybody be sure to come back and check us out on Wednesday nights on the K&K Sports Show. We'll be doing our football preview show, NFL and college football. And everybody's friend, Michael Ronquillo, saying hi, Kenny
Hey,
and Paul.
Michael.
And he's giving us the blue and white hearts, Paul. So I'll try and do my best heart with my double jointed fingers there. It looks like a messed up heart. Paul's looks a lot better than mine, Michael. Hope you're doing well. And I'll see you, I'm sure, in a little while with blue and orange hearts, Michael, because we'll be on shortly on the other show, Denver Bronco Roundup. Graham saying Jackson Dart is going to be good. And he's saying, okay, not tomorrow. Thanks for the info. Yeah, I'll get in touch with you later, Graham. I think maybe we'll chat later on, and we'll figure out when we're going to start back up. He's saying training camp was elite. We got to make that our bucket list next year, Paul. Maybe go to training camp, Giants.
Yeah. Well, we
I
tried, but
I think we can make it
that's
happen next year.
yeah, that's another story for a different day.
Yeah, no, we can we'll make it happen next year. We're going to be going to a game in November, so that'll be fun. But yeah, so Jackson Dart, like you said, his character is what I like. It's not Daniel Jones' tone of voice with Bueller. Like, this kid's having fun doing what he's doing. He's, you want to see that from a young kid. He's only 21 years old. You don't want to see him, you want him to be mature, but you want him also to have fun out there. And that's what I'm seeing from him. Maturity, but he knows when to have fun. and the coaches as well. You could see it, from Brian Dabold's interview in the 30 when they brought the players in for interviews in the draft process. How much fun he had at him at the end there. I said, yeah, this is his guy. And when you saw him get drafted and hug Joe Shane, this Dabold's excited about Jackson Dart, and I think we should be as well, because Brian Dable is a good offensive mind and knows what he's doing. So I'm excited. Can't wait to see Jackson Dart, and hope he's our franchise quarterback for the next 10 plus years.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Yeah. And Graham, one more thing on training camp. He's saying the players were the absolute nicest. That's awesome. That's awesome
Nice.
to hear.
Great.
That's awesome.
Glad you had a good time, Graham.
Yeah. So another rookie that I'd like to talk about real quick. Unfortunately he's hurt right now, Paul. But Cam Scadaboo has really stepped up to the plate, and you loved it. You nailed the draft. You nailed every player. Saw him at Arizona State in college. Some of his highlights, and when you think Cam Scadaboo, some people say he's a one-trick pony, but what people don't know who say that is he's one heck of a receiving running back. So he's the absolute opposite of a one-trick pony. And if you watch some of his catches, it's not a 5 yard. It's a deep out like Saquon Barkley used to do. So Cam Scadaboo, little setback, but I am expecting big things from him, and ecstatic that we got him, and I can't wait for what him and Tracy can bring to the table in the running back room for the future.
Yeah, totally agree. Great overview, Kenny. I think this kid can stay healthy. He's going to add the thunder to the lightning of Tracy, and throw in I'm tongue-tied with
Singletary.
Singletary. Thank you, Devin Singletary. And I think we can have a really, really fun running back room.
Yeah, I agree. Any other rookies you want to hit up? We got one more segment after this. I think we can hit another rookie or two if you want, looking at the time.
I mean, certainly, what else can be said about Abdul Carter that we haven't said already?
Yeah.
Clearly, I mean, he's going to be a fun guy to watch, just to see where they line him up, and how they utilize him along with Brian Burns and Kayvon. I mean, I'll tell you, that first game is going to play a lot. If the league is going to be put on notice, if the Giants do something to Jaden Daniels in that first game, and they come after him from all angles, and it's all going to be because Carter is setting up everyone else. I mean, everyone can't be handled one-on-one. Dexter Lawrence, I mean, who are they going to double team? So it's going to be fun. It really, really is going to be a lot of fun watching this kid not just play, but how he affects everyone else on the Giant defense.
Abdul Carter, like I said at the beginning of the show, like I'm not calling him LT, and that would be ridiculous to call somebody LT when he hasn't played it down in the football. And LT, in not only Giant fans' minds, but a lot of minds, best defensive player ever to play the game. I am the most excited. I've never been more excited about a player to watch since LT. And that includes a lot of players on this Giants. That includes Malik Neighbors, Odell Beckham, heading into regular season. I've never been more excited about watching a player. So I can't wait to see him. But I do want to give you one rookie to talk about for a couple minutes. And that's
okay.
Your favorite college, Notre Dame. Bo Collins, undrafted rookie.
Yeah.
If you don't mind taking over and talking about him for a minute or two.
Let me just say this. The Giants didn't draft any rookie receivers, and we all knew that there was going to be a need for some rookies. And, got to give Joe Shane a lot of credit. They knocked it out of the ballpark, because what they wound up doing was they signed 6 undrafted free agent wide receivers. And unbelievably, they have all played very, very well. This is going to be an extremely difficult situation, how to cut down from not just the uh, regular free agent and rookie and excuse me and receivers that they have already on the team, but these undrafted rookies have all impressed every single one of them. I think Mark mentioned Montrell Washington. I think his motto is a play a day keeps the coaches away. He's been phenomenal, but uh, you also mentioned Dalen Cambry, who's a special teams phenom, and now with Bryce Ford Wheaton out, maybe he might make the team on special teams. But the kid that you were talking about, Bo Collins, my guy from Notre Dame, the guy's 6'3", blocks like a phenom. They love the way his attitude is. Brian Table called him a professional already, which says something a lot about how he was coached both at Clemson and then the year he spent at Notre Dame. And if this kid has a chance, I think he might be able to do something. He has probably the biggest size out of any receiver that the Giants would have on their team if he makes it. And he's connected with Russ a few times, with Jackson Dart a few times. And of course, it's training camp. But if this kid continues to put his head down and work hard, I think he has an opportunity here with the Giants. And I just love that about him. In my estimation, watched the whole season last year with Notre Dame. Obviously, they went to the championship game. Did not utilize Bo Collins that much, but I think he has an opportunity, if possible, to even be a better NFL player than a college player. And I'm hoping that's the case. And I think he has that real good opportunity if he continues to play as he has in training camp to make this team as an undrafted free agent.
Nice. Let's hope he can and wish him the best. Let me get a couple comments slash questions in. Michael's comment I'm going to turn into a question. Michael read that the Giants will be better with Russell Wilson over quarterback Jackson Dart right now. I agree with that, Michael. I'll just take this one real quick and I'll pass it to you, Paul. I think Russell Wilson's better right now. Now, a few years back, I say a few, we're talking about almost 20 years ago, Kurt Warner was brought in. Eli Manning was the rookie. I think they switched after game 8 or 9, and the Giants were 5-4 at the time. If Jackson Dart is impressing and the Giants are right around 500 or even less, you might see something similar if Jackson Dart in coaches' minds is ready to take over and not look back. And we all know Eli Manning never looked back after that. And kind of like a Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins situation, I could see with the Giants, Paul. Do you agree, or you think they should go Jackson Dart right now?
No, not at all. Brian Dable's come out. Russ is the number one quarterback without question. Obviously, a lot can change throughout the season, but I tend to agree with you. They might do something like an Eli with Kurt Warner. My sense is they have a late bye. If in fact the Giants are in the position to possibly get into the playoffs, I think it would be hard to put in Jackson Dart. But with the schedule, you never know. But if they're close to 500 and it's toward the end of the year and they have 3-4 games left and maybe they just don't think they're going to make the playoffs and have an opportunity, I think by all means they'll put Jackson Dart in those last few games and let him get NFL big time action and set him up for next year.
Roy's saying, I hope it's after week 7. He wants to see Knicks versus Wilson, laughing out loud. Yep. And I got one. I'm going to answer this one from Graham because it has to do with the Commanders, Paul. And I'll answer this quick. He wants to know, what do you guys think will happen with McLaurin? It's real down here, Graham. It's real. And I think he's going to, he very well could be traded if the team that trade, if Washington can get a receiver in return. A rumor mill going out there, Tyreek Hill, McLaurin, and a draft pick for Tyreek Hill. If you could find a team that's got a wide receiver that's not happy, I think it could happen, but it's got to be a good talent in return. Otherwise, I think McLaurin's going to stay, but he's definitely not happy in Washington, and I could see him going. So, as a
Let me
Giant
ask
fan, I hope.
let me ask you, Kenny. I saw that rumor. Who would you rather have as a Giant facing the Commanders? Do you want Tyreek Hill with the Commanders, or would you rather see Terry McLaurin stay with the Commanders?
As crazy as this sounds, Tyreek Hill, because
I
McLaurin
think
has
so too.
been on the Commanders for a long time, and he's going to get that chemistry with Jaden Daniels growing. And Tyreek Hill, it might take him a little bit to get used to Cliff Kingsbury's offense. So, I'm going Terry McLaurin. He's a very underrated wide receiver, and if he does get traded, somebody's going to get a heck of a player. And Graham's
Yeah.
saying, please, just not the Raiders. I don't know if the Raiders got anything that the Commanders could get receiver wise back in return, because after Terry McLaurin, do have Debo Samuel, but after that, there's not much there in the receiver room. So curious to see in the upcoming weeks if that happens. But we got a little time left, Paul. We got one more segment, and that's we're going
Okay.
to predict the Giants captains for 2025 season, this upcoming season. And I'll start, Paul, because I know we both probably have this guy on, so we might as well start with the easiest one.
No problem.
Russell Wilson.
Hmm.
You bring him in, 10-time Pro Bowler. Team was 3-14 last year. You bring in a guy, like I said, with leadership, mentor, young Jackson Dart, and some of the other young guys. Easiest one of me, man of the year. Easiest one for me on the board. Russell Wilson's got to be a captain in 2025.
Agree. Totally agree. My other or my second captain on offense, the kid has just earned everything, the respect of the team, of the fans, and I think Malik Neighbors, even though he's only his second year, I think they're gonna name him captain and be voting him captain as a second year 22-year-old player on the Giants.
Like that. I'm going to go a little different for my second one. Uh, my second one's also a wide receiver, and it's the oldest wide receiver in the wide receiver room, Darius Slayton.
Nice.
Surprisingly brought him back for me, it was a surprise that they brought him back. We all thought he was on the way out, and the Giants signed him to a new contract. He's the number 2 wide receiver on the team. And I'm going to stick with the veterans uh, with my captains here. So I'm going to go the oldest man in the wide receiver room, Darius Slayton, as my number 2 captain.
Okay, wonderful. Um, I have a third voted captain on offense that even though he's injured, but he has certainly proved his cachet over the years, and that's Andrew Thomas, uh, the stalwart at the left tackle, one of the key players, one of the probably top 5 players on the team when he's healthy. But I would say Andrew Thomas, who's been voted captain in the past, I would vote him my last offensive captain.
Nice. I got a little same group, offensive line. I'm going a little different only because of Andrew Thomas's injury last year and may not be ready for week 1. John Michael Schmitz. And the reason I'm going him is simple. Step up. Now we're going to give you the captain's name. You beat a second round pick and the top center that we picked a couple years ago for you to be. Be better than average. Be a top 10 center in this league. Lead by example on that offensive line. You're the one pointing out the blitzes and the coverages. Time for you to step up and be the captain off the field as well. So off the field and on the field, put the C on your chest and be the captain. So I'm going John
That's a
Michael Schmitz, a little different there.
that's a good one, Kenny. I just saw an interview with Brian Dable, and someone asked him about uh, JMS, and he was raving about how he's played so far in training camp. So that was good.
Yep. So we got
Want to go to defense?
yeah, I did a whole. You're allowed up to 6 captains, and I picked 6. So
Okay.
we can go to defense. Yep.
I think both of us will agree that, without question, Dexter Lawrence would be uh, captain.
Yeah, this is the second easiest one. Like we said about Russell Wilson, Dexter Lawrence is the mainstay and the veteran of this team, and maybe the team captain. You know, as when not just the group captain, but like the number one captain on the team. You look Dexter Lawrence, Russell Wilson. So definitely Dex for sure.
Okay. Who's your
Uh,
second?
I went with a guy I think's gonna have a monster year, and that's the leader of the defense, your middle linebacker. I'm gonna go Bobby Okereke. We brought
Nice.
him in a couple years ago to be the stalwart, and he's been nothing but great under Wink Martindale. Now it's Shane Bowen, second year. I think Okereke's he was hurt a little bit last year. I think he has a major bounce back year, and he's going to be the leader, uh, the calling the defenses. So if you're calling the defenses, you got to be my captain.
Nice. Very good. I like that pick. Also went on defense, a guy who's also a veteran. They brought him in last year, had a decent year, but uh, the way the team played, it reflected back on how the defense was overall. But I think he's going to step up this year big time, and I think Brian Burns is going to be another leader on defense. So he would be another captain from the defensive side of the field.
Nice. We'll do our last captain, and then I do have some comments in there. I'll get to
Okay.
to wrap the show up. Special teamer is going to be my last captain. We have three guys that have been with the Giants for a few years now: Graham Gano, Jamie Gillian, and Corey Kreider. I'm gonna reward my long snapper, Corey Kreider, with a captain role. He's been on this team for a while, and
I think he froze up again. I'm going to
no,
also
I think he's
agree.
going to be the
Oh,
special teams.
you
I'm
there,
back.
Kenny?
Yep, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, a
Okay.
little choppy here for some reason, but Corey Kreider, if that got cut off.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Kreider's going to be the captain on special teams as well.
Okay, let me try and get a couple comments in, Paul, and then we'll do some final thoughts. And in my final thoughts, I got something I want to talk about with you. Uh, Michael giving us some information on some other teams. Browns announced Shedeur Sanders is going to start first preseason game. Uh, Teddy Bridgewater is also back in the NFL. And there's Michael. Michael, this is the comment of the night. Actually, Michael's telling us Keenan Allen going back to the
Oh,
Chargers. That's interesting. Uh, but Michael, he's got the comment of the night, and this is why he's everybody's friend. And now he's everybody. He's every New York Giants fan friend. New York Giants will win the NFC East over Philadelphia, Dallas, and the Commanders. Let's go
well, from your
Giants!
mouth to
Everybody's
every
friend
Giants
and New
fan's
York
ears,
Giants
Michael. I
friend.
love it. I love it. Let's get that date down, August 5th.
Yep. And Roy's saying he'll see us soon.
Thank you,
See you,
Roy.
Roy. Thank you for hanging out with us. And Graham alluded, Casey Kreisler was a former
Yes.
Bronco. So we do have a
Yes.
former Bronco on the
Exactly.
team. So, in my final thoughts, Paul, I want to say thank you to everyone. Appreciate everybody coming in. We will be on next Tuesday. And then after that, our regular schedule will be Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. This way we can get on before Monday Night Football as the season comes on. Appreciate everybody out there hanging out with us. I want to pass it to Paul and give him the floor for a couple minutes because he is going to be going to the Buffalo Bills preseason game, which isn't very special. But I'm going to pass it to Paul and tell everybody why it is
Oh,
going to
thank
be
you so much,
special.
Kenny.
And for him and his wife going to Buffalo Bills Giants, it's going to be a very special game for Paul. And I'll pass it to him
All right.
to
Thank you
explain
so
why.
much, Kenny. First of all, I want to thank everybody for your amazing participation. Thank you, Kenny, of course, tremendous co-host and brother, and we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. So, as Kenny alluded to, we have family up in Buffalo. We have our daughter, son-in-law, and our 3 grandsons. 7, George is 7, Marlo is 5, and Teddy is a little over 2. And we are all going to the Giants Bills preseason game, and this will be their first football game that they've ever been to, and we are very excited and very happy, and we can't wait to go to the game with them, and maybe we'll have a tailgate experience before the game with them, and we're looking forward to doing this. So thank you, Kenny, for letting me say that. And all I can say is go Giants. Let's have fun on Saturday. And thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night, and maybe if Paul or his wife Luby can get me some pictures, we can share them
Looks
next
like
Tuesday's show. So go ahead.
no, you froze up a little,
Yeah,
so I was going to
I'm
say
choppy. Everybody's saying have fun, Paul, including
thank you.
myself. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see everyone next week.